Jeff Passan on Friday with Arkin. If you missed any of that, you can check it out. Odyssey app, Audacy. Get it on your phone, free, easy. Take it with you wherever you go. A lot in there, I thought. Number one, he expects a quiet deadline because most of the impending free agents aren't big household names. So you got to start looking at guys with term, which is going to cost more, blah, blah, blah.
Better not be too quiet for the Red Sox.
Well, I agree with you on this. If they go out and sign Kyle Tucker, or they go out and sign
Pete Alonzo.
Thank you. Alonzo's the other name I was trying to come up with. Then great. Retroactively, I'll look at it and go, okay, they got rid of Devers' money. They retooled the money on another big ticket guy. I don't really think they're going to do that, by the way. I'm not holding my breath that they're going to do that. And the thing I hate the most about the Devers trade, and I'm mostly on board with it, is John Henry saving money and lowering payroll. Like, that's the thing I find most detestable about it. But they better do something at the deadline. Like when Passan says, I'm not going to judge him at the deadline, I will.
Yeah, of course.
They better be adding to this team, and that doesn't mean you replace all of Devers' salary. I'm not under the guise that they're going to do that. But they better go out and add at this deadline and try to make a playoff run. Get pitching help. Get bullpen help. Get yourself a right-handed bat who hopefully can also mix in at first base. I'm definitely going to judge him on the trade deadline.
Yeah, that makes no sense. If you want to say you don't want to judge him now, yeah, all right, we kind of have to because it's what's just took place. But if you want to say that,
you want to overreact
your
to 6
reasoning,
games, sure.
And you want to say, well, maybe the players they add freeing up some of this money doesn't come until later on. Maybe some of these teams are waiting a little bit longer. You'd mentioned earlier how, with all the playoff teams, almost everybody's in it. So maybe some of these fringe teams want a couple more weeks or whatever. Like you wait, and then by July 31st, that's where you get another second baseman, starting pitcher, right-handed bat, whatever it might be. If you don't do any of that, you're wasting another season. This is a season. You're right there. They've already
you're a half game out of the number 3 wild card spot. You were in playoff position over the weekend.
And Chaim Bloom basically got fired because of you were in it at these deadlines, you bungled the deadlines, you didn't really choose a direction, and then you missed the playoffs. So if Craig Breslow trades Devers because he was basically told he had to trade Devers, does that, but doesn't do anything else major to the team or really to impact the team's wins and losses, and they end up missing the playoffs, what's the difference of having Chaim Bloom back? Like, it's the same kind of crap. So I absolutely will be judging them based on what they do over the next 5 weeks.
Same. And I hope their next move isn't to trade Duran in a vacuum. Like, tell me what the return is.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Tell me how it fits together, and then maybe I can be talked into that one. But in a vacuum, I don't want them trading Duran, even though he's been wildly disappointing this year. I believe in him. The last 2 seasons as a full-time player, 23 rather, and 24, were really good years. He was hurt in 23, but he was an MVP candidate last year. So I don't really want them to trade him, but I'd acknowledge he's been underwhelming this year. And as you said, Keefe, he'd probably get you a better return than Devers because he's so cheap and he's under team control and he doesn't have a contract worth $313.5 million. You'd probably get a lot more for Duran. But that whole approach, like, hey, we're in the playoffs, but we're going to trade Devers and Duran, I'd have trouble getting on board with that. But you're closer to being okay with it.
I'd be okay with it, but I'm with you. You can't have just 2 salary. Or, I mean, in the case of Devers, what ends up being more of a salary move. In the case of Duran, I guess you're thinking, all right, now we kind of square away our outfield. Like, are you just trading Duran so Roman Anthony, Cedar Rafael, and Wilyer Abreu can start every day without anybody else out there? Like, that's not the best reason to do that. You should get more of a return for him because you also should have more teams bidding on him. Not every team is willing to take $30 million a year for Devers.
Correct.
Every team in the league, any good team, I would think, would want Jarren Duran, bring him in, and you have a decision to make. You don't have to commit any money to him. I mean, you pay him whatever he's entitled to now for the next couple of years, and then maybe he shows that he's more like he was last year, and you sign him. Or he shows this is what he is now, and all right, you at least took a shot at it. But we'll see. And the fact that a lot of people are talking about, there's a lot of smoke around now with Jarren Duran trade.
And one of the things we were reading into earlier today, Carabas was in the mentions anyway out there.
Oh my God, he can't stand the guy now.
Go to Carabas' timeline and go to his mentions. And Carabas, he wouldn't take this as a shot. I mean, he prides himself on being a Red Sox fan first, and he's been very supportive of Jarren Duran, and now he's basically like, well, I'm not supporting that guy anymore. I'm done with him.
Yeah.
And so, whatever.
Something happened
Well,
there.
yeah, I'm sure there did. And if it's just a personal thing between the two of them, whatever. What I'm curious about is if it goes higher than that, and Carabas kind of knows Duran's on the outs with the organization, and that's why he's ready to now start flaming him. That's what I wonder.
Who's more steaming? This is going to be a new segment. Who's more steaming?
Okay.
Is it David Ortiz at Rafael Devers, or is it Jared Carabas at Jarren Duran?
Not even close. It's actually Carabas at Duran.
Yeah, he's steaming.
Devers, Ortiz might be being pushed to be all fired up about Rafael Devers.
There might be some actual compensation.
Carabas, you know what? Maybe Carabas is actually getting pushed to do it as well. But I wonder if Duran's days are numbered in Boston.
Though.
Yeah.
Because Ortiz waited until Devers was gone to really kind of badmouth him. Right now, he's already saying he's done. Normally, a lot of fans are done with players, but the team's also done with them.
No, that's fair.
But in this case, Duran's still out there.
That's fair. Carabas isn't ripping him out. He's gone. He's ripping him before he's gone. Whereas Ortiz is just ripping Devers once he's gone.
Right.
Which is, again, why I think when people say we're just doing the bidding of ownership, we were ripping Devers quite a bit while he was here.
I think since February.
I don't think we were just ripping Devers on his way out the door, but you see it however you see it.
Yeah.
Our buddy Justin in D.C. in the Twitch chat is also saying that we have no founded takes that they're going to go out and make big runs at players in free agency. I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to be in on Tucker. I don't think they're going to be in on Alonzo. I hope they're in on both. I'd love to be wrong about that. All I said is I think they're going to make moves at this deadline.
Yeah, but they did.
And if that means Castillo or one of the Seattle pitchers, I mentioned Edward Cabrera. I was talking names like Taylor Ward and Eugenio Suarez. I'm not talking about big ticket guys.
But also, I mean, they did sign Bregman and trade for Crochet. And if that makes me sound like a team honk,
it's possible.
Those are guys that they brought in. Now, I know that wasn't a $700 million deal, but that was more than it was the previous 5 years or whatever.
Would you bet on it, though? It's possible. I acknowledge they could sign Kyle Tucker. They could. But would I bet on it? No.
No, probably not. It'd probably be more of the 3 or 4 guys in the Chapman type ilk where you're all right, you get shorter deals, maybe even older players, but the guys that can help you. I mean, Chapman's way better than I thought he was going to be.
Way better.
So if you got the Chapman version of second base or even first base, you probably need first baseman, let's be honest. If you get somebody like that, then that guy could help you. Even going back to some of these other moves, the team kind of needs the Tyler O'Neill, Hunter Renfroe, Adam Duvall, Justin Turner, these guys that were seemingly a dime a dozen, but they're all really good here.
Right-handed bat with some pop.
Yeah. All those guys were good.
Yeah.
20, 30 home runs. They don't have that, and that would be a big – and if that guy could play first base, even better.
We are also getting flack in the Twitch chat for saying we'd want Pete Alonzo, but also called Devers fat. Look, Alonzo's not the thinnest. He's not – first of all, he still plays in the field.
Yeah.
Unlike Devers. We'll see if Devers ultimately gets in some games in the field for the Giants.
Him being chunky was honestly, for me – I mean, maybe you could pull tape on me ripping him. I was way lower on my list of complaints with Devers than a lot of other things.
It's on my list of complaints. I think it's on the Red Sox list of complaints, but I think one of the areas why the Red Sox thought, this came out in Passan's reporting, why they didn't think it was a big deal to ask him to move positions, move to DH full-time at first, and then when guys got hurt, asked him to play the field again, is because they never demanded he was in shape, and he was never in shape. They never demanded that he did the media obligations. They never demanded that he was a team leader. I mean, they hardly ever demanded that, or even demanded that he was out there for charitable endeavors.
That's the first time
for
the
the organization.
This is the first time they asked him to literally do anything.
Right, and so I think they felt like it was a minor ask to sacrifice his position on the field, especially when he's terrible at it. He obviously disagreed because he doesn't want to be asked to do anything.
Unless you're the Giants.
But look, Alonzo's not in the greatest shape. I'll acknowledge that. He's in 10 times better shape than Devers.
Yes, he's been super productive this year.
If you want to look it up, and I have. He's been a better player than Devers in their careers. More productive player. Two top 10 MVP seasons where he's gotten top 10 MVP votes. He has more home runs. He has, and that's in fewer seasons in the big leagues.
Better nickname.
Higher OPS. Better nickname.
Yeah.
He also, I believe, and again, he's played 7 years in the bigs. He's older than Devers. He's played 7 years in the bigs. Devers has played parts of 9. He's only 50 RBIs behind Devers. So there's a real case to make. He's been a better player than Devers.
Yeah, this could be. We'll see how the season goes. This could be his 4th 40 home run season. Devers has 0 of those.
Devers only has 3 30 homer seasons.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So yeah,
Alonzo had 53 his rookie year.
It goes back to Devers is not a bad player, but he is overrated here.
Yeah,
and he's certainly not a generational player.
No.
Text line 617-779-7937. Guys, it's insane that Duran has had a down year and everyone wants to ship him off. I wouldn't say everyone, But
No,
Keefe is
not
moving closer
everybody.
to
I'm
it.
closer to it. I was a big no, but
Plus, the value is down. What are you going to get for him? Nothing of significance. That I disagree with. If you traded,
I think
if
you'd
you
get
traded
something for him.
Duran,
Yeah.
The Athletic came out today. They had their top 30 targets at the deadline. Duran was number 1. So I bet you'd get a lot for Duran.
I do too. I mean, again, his contract is nothing. Like he's not due for a raise in a few years. So you have team control for a while. You have plenty of time to make your decision on it. And in the meantime, you're paying a guy. He is having a down year, but he was just an all-star a year ago. Let's see, first year of free agency, eligible free agent, 2029.
Yeah.
It's like you have him for a long time. He's making like $8 million this year.
Let's go to the phones. Doug is in Rhode Island. Go ahead, Doug.
Oh no, less, $8 million next year. Go ahead. Sorry, Doug.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great.
Thanks. So, couldn't the Red Sox have skipped all this drama if at the beginning of spring training they just kept Devers at third and put Bregman at second? And then you got Costas at first, and Costas went down. You could have switched Bregman to first.
Yeah, but now, so Doug,
instead
they could have, but now you have Bregman at first and Devers at third. And Bregman's bat maybe plays at first, maybe not. And Devers is still out there butchering balls left and right at third base. So, like,
You made your infield defense a lot better.
You could have
by
kept-
getting Devers out of there.
yeah, you could have kept bad teammate
Yeah.
Rafi Devers happy by leaving him at third. But what's best for the team? I think moving him
No.
was best for the team. And then when guys got hurt,
Yeah.
asking him to pick up a glove and play first or third would have been best for the team. But Devers didn't want to help the team.
Yeah, I'm not taking-
Devers wanted to help himself.
I'm not taking the Gold Glove third baseman that you just picked up and then having him play second and then having him play first. Like Devers out of there in the field, I think was the right call. And then how he reacts to it, like, okay. Because at some point this was going to happen.
He was
Rafael
going to
Dev-
have to move. Yeah.
You had to get him off third. This has been a conversation for years. Even despite his age, he has always been bad in the field. So this has always been brought up. Even right before he signed the contract, the year he signed the contract, after was, all right, how much longer is he going to do this? Not everybody plays the same position forever. And so I wouldn't have done that. But I guess to answer his question, yeah, you could have avoided it. Devers could still be on the team playing third. Bregman could be ping-ponging around. And, Christian Campbell could be ping-ponging around. But would your team be better for that? I don't think so.
I mean, they had Devers at third the last 3 years. They were a 500 team and a last-place team in reverse order. So, I don't know. You can play him at third. You haven't been a very good team with him at third. He doesn't realize that. Like that, he still doesn't get that him playing at third every day, he's happy hitting his 30 home runs some years and not other years. And, never being a top 10 MVP candidate and making the all-star team sometimes but not others and being a last-place team. He's fine with that. He's fine with that existence. And he still hasn't connected the two dots on maybe the team was underachieving because he was dragging them down with his horrible defense at third base and his overrated offense.